Morning one and all, myself Reshma. I am working as a guest degree lecturer in the chemistry department from TTWRDC Women College Khammam, which is situated in Thanikella. I would like to thank our principal madam and also our secretary sir for giving this opportunity to present a video lecture. So in this particular video I am going to discuss about electrochemistry. So actually electrochemistry has huge importance in not only for semester purpose but also to understand the chemistry concepts. To understand practically what is chemistry, we have to learn about electrochemistry. Okay, so in this particular slide you are going to discuss about the uses of electrochemistry and applications of electrochemistry. Before learning before practicing any topic, you have to know the importance of that particular topic. If you know the importance and if you know the applications of the particular topic, you will have the interest to learn about that particular subject. So now I am going to discuss or I am going to present few applications of electrochemistry and where we apply the electrochemistry concepts. Okay, so in this particular topic in this particular slide you will see the battery. So generally batteries are playing very important role in our daily basis life. So in electronic gadgets we use batteries. For example, while you are watching TV, you are controlling the TV with the help of a remote control. So in that remote control also we beat sometimes remote control if you don't work properly. So that in that actually the work of the battery is playing major role, not the remote. So there also battery is also playing major role. That battery also playing the that battery also working under the principle of electrochemistry. Not only remote controls in laptops, mobiles, in tablet PCs, in every way we are using the batteries. So these batteries work under the principle of electrochemistry. So not only batteries, not only electronic gadgets but also pacemaker. So what is pacemaker ma? So in generally heart patients, doctors place a artificial heart in the with the help of a pacemaker. So with the help of pacemaker our life will survive. So in that pacemaker also battery is playing a crucial role. So we have to charge that battery. So with the help of that pacemaker the people will survive, that is heart patients will survive lifelong. Not only that one, in next electric cars, no. So nowadays electric cars are coming in a way. That means electric cars there is a charging portal. With the help of the charging portal they charge the batteries, and with the help of a fuel we can drive the cars with the help of a battery. And also nowadays we are come across the wireless batteries, wireless mobiles. That means if you want to charge a mobile phone with the help of a battery also, without help of a wireless charger you can charge the battery. So not only that, this is the another important use, that is electroplating. So what is electroplating means? See, if you generally in home will see the different types of keys. Okay, here we will see the normal key and the another one is the yellow color key. What is yellow color key means? It is electroplated key. Generally these keys are made up of iron. After some days what happen, they may become rust. Okay, they will become spoil. So see here in this particular diagram we will see here it is a copper rod. With the help of copper rod we are coating the normal key into the copper plated key. So what is the use of that particular key means? So it may increase the life of the key. That means it may it don't damage earlier and it lasts, and the beauty of the product also increases. That means with the help of electroplating we can increase the life as well as the beauty of the materials. Okay, next not only these keys but also spoons. In our homes we are seeing the spoons. Those spoons are also can be done with the help of a electroplating. Okay, next in olden days if I ask a question, that is aluminium is costlier or gold is costlier. Nowadays we know that gold is very much costlier than the aluminium. Aluminium is nothing but with the help of aluminium we are preparing the plates, we are preparing the tins like cool drink tins. These are all prepared by aluminium. So aluminium is very cheaper. We know that gold is very costlier. But in olden days aluminium is costlier than the gold. Why? Because at that time we don't know the concept of electrochemistry. With the help of electrochemistry now we can we can separating the aluminium from its ores. So now that's why the aluminium is become very cheaper than the gold. Okay, actually what are the two important major process in electrochemistry means the first one is the spontaneous process and non-spontaneous process. To understand the concept of electrochemistry, we have to know what is spontaneous and what is non-spontaneous process. Okay, so what is spontaneous process means? Spontaneous process means it's a natural process. What is natural process? For example, rain coming from sky to the, like this, sky to the earth. That means here we are no need to do any external agent. So what is spontaneous process means? If the process or if the reaction occurs without help of any external agent, that is called as spontaneous process. For example, if we have any iron rod, okay, so if that iron rod is placed on the flame, what happens students? After sometimes we cannot hold the other hand of the iron rod. Why? Because the for example, this is iron rod, the heat flows from the heat to the colder one, hotter one to hotter end to the colder end. That means it is a natural process. We don't know any external agent. There is no need to do any externally. That is called as spontaneous process. For example, rain comes from the up to the that is sky to the earth. We don't do anything there. In the same way, water flows from the upper to the lower side, that is upper to the bottom side. These are all natural process. There we don't do anything to conduct these type of reactions, also called as spontaneous reactions or spontaneous process. I am repeating once again, spontaneous process means if a reaction occurs automatically on its own without any external agent, called as spontaneous process. Next, what is non-spontaneous process means? If we want to conduct a reaction, we have to do any mechanical force, or we have to apply electrical energy, or we have to make a potential difference. By the use of any of these methods, if a reaction carrying, that is called as non-spontaneous process. That means if we want to conduct a reaction, for example, see here it is waterfalls. Here waterfalls means we don't do anything here. The water flows from the upper end to up to the downside. So that means it is a spontaneous process. Okay, if you want to understand the non-spontaneous process, for example, see here we have a boy, for example, say Chintu. Here Chintu is instructed by his mother to switch on a motor. Okay, his mother instructed Chintu to switch on a motor. Okay, so actually motor means what? Here water flows from the down to the upper side. Okay, here water is flowing from the down to the upper side. It is a non-spontaneous process. Why? Because without any external agent, the reaction cannot occur. Here, if you see here, it is a motor. Okay, it is a motor, that is mechanical force. With the help of motor, water flows from the down to the upper side. So understand now, with the help of any external agent. Now here motor is an external agent. So here motor is working as external agent. With the help of external agent, water flows from the down from the down to the upper side. Okay, this is called as spontaneous process. If you want to understand spontaneous process, I am giving another physical example. For example, you have a mountain like this. Okay, next here we have a ball A. Next here we have a ball B. For example, if I want to displace this ball A to B, for example, if I want to displace this ball A to B in the another case, so this B ball from B to C, in which case we can easily displace ball either A to B or B to C, ma? So B to C is easily displaces. Why? Because from B to C we no need to do any external agent. If we want to just touch the ball at B, it is easily coming down to C. Whereas in the case of A to B, we have to do external work to displace from A to B. Understand? So the ball from A to B is non-spontaneous. We have to give the energy, extra energy. In the case of B to C, what happened? The ball easily displaces from B to C. So B to C is called as spontaneous process, and from A to B is called as non-spontaneous process. Okay, so these two will play major role in the not only electrochemistry, total chemistry process divided into spontaneous and non-spontaneous. Spontaneous means without any external agent. If the work is done or if the reaction is done, that is called a spontaneous reaction. With the help of an external agent, that may be mechanical force, that may be electrical force, or that may be that may be potential difference. Or with the help of these three, if a work is done or if a reaction is done, it is called a spontaneous reaction. Okay, so what is actual, now comes to the electrochemistry. So what is actual motto of electrochemistry means, for example, here we have a reaction that is A to B, that is A is reactant, B is product, A is converting into B. So here we are saying it is a spontaneous reaction. So that means the reaction occurs on its own, we don't do any external agent. So here some amount of energy is releasing. So when A is converting it to B, some amount of energy is releasing. That energy is called as chemical energy. Whenever the energy releasing from a reaction is called as chemical energy. So we want to convert this chemical energy into electrical energy. So that is our motto of electrochemistry. Okay, let's see some basic basic definitions of electrochemistry. Here we have a oxidation state. What is oxidation state means, if any atom, for example X. So if any atom, for example X is there, if it loses electrons, that process is called as oxidation process. For example, see here lithium is there. Lithium is loss of electron. If any atom or if any element loses electron, it gets positive charge. Okay, if any atom loses electron, it gets positive charge. So here lithium is donating one electron or losing one electron. So we can say it is a positive charge. So it is getting positive charge. See here, lithium is getting positive charge. That means here lithium is undergoing which type of reaction ma? It is undergoing oxidation. If a losses is called as oxidation. Okay, here lithium is getting positive charge +1. For example, zinc is there. If zinc loses electron, 2 electrons, it is getting +2. Okay, that means here zinc also undergoing which reaction? Oxidation reaction. Loss of electron is called as oxidation. Oxidation can be explained with the help of hydrogens and oxygens also, but in that particular electrochemistry we are concentrating only on the electrons. Here lithium is losing 1 electron and it is getting positive charge, and zinc is losing 2 electrons, so it is getting +2. Okay, this is called as oxidation, and this +1 and +2 or +3, it is called as oxidation number. Okay, the total number of electron that an atom either gains or loss is called as that particular atom oxidation number. See, for example, here lithium is losing electron and it is getting positive charge, that is +1. No, this +1 is called as oxidation number of lithium. And here zinc is losing 2 electrons and it is converting into +2. No, this +2 is called as the oxidation number of zinc. Okay, this is about the oxidation. Next, we'll see the reduction. What is reduction means? It is reverse of oxidation. In oxidation, what happened? It is gain of loss of electron. Oxidation means loss of electron. Here reduction means it is the gain of electron. That means, for example, if you see here fluorine is there. This fluorine is gaining 1 electron. Fluorine is gaining 1 electron. So electron is having negative charge. If any atom gains electron, it is converting into minus charge. Okay, when we lost electron, we are getting positive charge. When we gain electron, we are getting the negative charge. So here fluorine is gaining electron. That means fluorine acquiring 1 electron and it is converting into -1. Okay, so this is called as reduction. Gain of electron is reduction. And here, see, if here fluorine is not having any charge, so the charge is +0. After gaining of electron, the charge is converting into -1. So this -1 is called as the oxidation number of fluorine. We can also explain reduction in terms of decrease in oxidation number. That means here fluorine value is 0. It is converting into -1. So 0 to -1 means value decreases. So the decrease in oxidation number also called as reduction. Okay, so in this if you see here 0 value, lithium is having 0, it is converting into plus. So that is 0 to plus means value increasing. So increase in value is called as oxidation and decrease in value is called as the reduction. Okay, next we will see about what is electrolyte. Electrolyte means in a solution that contains ion is called as electrolyte. For example, that solution should be dissociated into ion. For example, if we are taking here copper sulfate, so copper sulfate can dissociated into Cu+2 and SO4-2 ion. That's why this copper sulfate is called as electrolyte and it is called as ionic conductor. Why? Because here ions can move from one place to another place and conduct electricity. That's why this is called as ionic conductor. Not only copper sulfate like zinc sulfate, NaCl, that is sodium chloride, and magnesium sulfate, any solution can be dissociated into ions is called as electrolyte. Okay, these are all the basic definitions of electrochemistry. To understand the concept, we have to know the very terminology. Okay, we have understood the oxidation, and next reduction, and next one is the electrolyte. Next is the electrode. We know that the solution is called as electrolyte. Here we solution is called as electrolyte, and this metal rod we are dipping in the solution is called as electrode. So what is the use of electrode means, we are saying that the reactions oxidation, reduction, okay, these reactions occurs on the surface of the electrode. Okay, this metal rod provides us its surface to carry out the oxidation and reduction reactions. Okay, again these electrodes are divided into two types, that is active electrode. Okay, what is active electrode means, so we know that electrode means it provides us it's a surface for the reaction. So some metals like zinc, copper, whatever be the metals, these metals not only providing us its surface for the reaction but also involved in the reaction. Those are called as active electrode. That means sometimes our if we for example it is zinc electrode, it is dissociated into Zn+2 ions. That means here electrode is also involving in the reaction, so that type of electrode is called as active electrode. So next one is a inert electrode. So the name itself indicating that inert means it should not involving in the reaction. Inert electrode means it is not involving in the reaction. For example, our noble metals there no, for example platinum, gold, these are our noble metals. So these metals these metals are providing its surface for the reaction. That means on that particular electrode oxidation and reduction will take place. That means these solutions will undergo reaction on the particular metal, but that metal is not involving in the reaction. So that electrode is not involving in the reaction is called as inert electrode. Okay, electrodes are divided into two types, that is active electrode and inert electrode. Active electrode means that electrode is involving in the reaction and also it is providing its surface for the reaction. What about inert electrode means, in inert electrodes they only provide its surface. That means on the electrode reactions will take place, but that electrode is not involving in the reaction. So this is about the electrode, that is active electrode and inert electrode. So what actually electrodes will do means, we do work on electrode, that is conduction and oxidation reaction and reduction reaction. Okay, these are the basic concepts of a electrode. So now meanwhile we are discussing about oxidation and reduction. So these are the separate process. Sometimes oxidation may take place, sometimes reduction may take place. Next topic is the redox reaction. What is redox reaction means? Both oxidation and reduction. What is oxidation? Oxidation means loss of electron. We have to memorize it. So oxidation means oxidation, loss of electron. Reduction means a gain of electrons. So when oxidation and reduction both occur simultaneously, so those are called as redox reaction. So oxidation reduction must occur together in one reaction only. Both oxidation and reduction both take place, that is called as redox reaction. They cannot exist alone. For example, if you see in this slide, see here in this slide, it is our zinc electrode. For example, it is our zinc electrode. We are taking a solution. Here zinc is undergoing oxidation. How we are came to know it is loss of electron. Zinc, it is donating electrons and it is converting into Zn+2. So it is called as oxidation reaction. Okay, next for example in this slide, here see it is, here our copper is gaining of electron, it is here Cu is +2. So already copper is in ion state, that means +2. +2 means what ma? It already loses electrons, 2 electrons. Now we are giving 2 electrons to copper. Take copper, take these 2 electrons, we are giving it. So +2 and -2. Why we are calling it -2 means, electron means negative charge. Already copper is having +2. 2 + 2 we are giving 2 minus. So +2 + 2 minus. What happened? Plus minus will comes to the 0. So copper is converting into 0 oxidation state. Okay. So it is called as reduction. Gain of electron is called as reduction. Okay. So if you see in this slide, see. So here Now you understand what is redox reaction. So in this particular beaker, copper is undergoing reduction. Okay, so in this particular beaker, zinc is undergoing oxidation. Zinc is releases 2 electrons. These 2 electrons travel through the wire, and this copper taken by the 2 electrons, it is undergoing oxidation. It is oxidation and it is reduction. So both oxidation reduction taking at a time simultaneously. This is called as simultaneously and spontaneously. When zinc loses electron, immediately these 2 electrons are taken by the copper and the reaction proceeds. So this is called as redox reaction. Okay, so simultaneously, where zinc will taking place oxidation, the same time copper will also undergoing reduction. This is called as redox reaction. Next, these are the terminology. What is electrode, what is electrolyte, what is oxidation, what is reduction, what is redox reaction. These are the normal basic terminology. Now let's see actually what is electrochemistry. So what is electrochemistry means, for example, electrochemistry motto is, let me complete this. What is our motto? What is electrochemistry means? See, we are taking one chemical. Okay, we are taking one chemical, either it may be copper sulfate or it may be NaCl, whatever it may be. So chemical contains chemical energy. So we want to convert this chemical energy into electrical energy, or vice versa. That means electrical energy can be converted into chemical energy. Okay, we have number of energies. Energies means it may be solar energy. Solar energy means comes from the sun. Okay, next electrical energy, that is current. Chemical energy, that means every chemical compound contain energy. Okay, next mechanical energy, that means motors, engines work by the mechanical energy. Next, wind energy. Wind energy means air energy is called as wind energy. So these are all different types of energies. So in this particular electrochemistry, so the name itself indicating two terms, that is electricity and chemical energy. So chemical energy is converting into electrical energy, or electrical energy can be converted into chemical energy. That means with the help of electricity we are conducting the reaction. So this is the concept of electrochemistry. To understand the concept, we are doing this experiment 1. So in this particular experiment, so see here, I am taking this blue color solution. It is called as copper sulfate solution. See, in this copper sulfate solution, we are dipping the zinc electrode. Okay, what we are doing here, we are taking one beaker. In that particular beaker, we are taking copper sulfate solution. In that copper sulfate solution, we are dipping the zinc electrode. So by placing this, if you have any work, can go and come. After your arrival, you will see that the zinc electrode will disappear. That means the zinc electrode will disappear. What happened? The zinc is dissociated into +2 ion. So zinc is dissociated into Zn+2 ions, and the copper sulfate, if you see copper sulfate in laboratory, it is in thick blue color. After some time, what happened? The color of the solution become fade. That means the color become lighten, and if you put any thermometer in that, the temperature of the thermometer or the reading of the thermometer rises. That means the total solution become heat. What actually happens here? So the zinc is dissociated into Zn+2 ions. No, though Zn+2 ions by losing 2 electrons. These 2 electrons, see here, these red round surrounded one is the 2 electron. These 2 electrons are taken by the copper, and it is converted into Cu0. Okay, so our aim is, we have to capture the electrons and we have to convert the electrons into electrical energy. But what is happening here? So undoubtedly zinc is undergoing oxidation and it is releases electrons, but we have to capture the electrons to convert into electrical energy. But what is happening here? These electrons are taken by the solution. That means the process is within the solution only. It is not coming out. It is not coming out for the further use. So the process is becoming waste. Why? Because electrons are releasing. So zinc is releases electrons. These electrons are taken by the solution itself. So our aim is not fulfilling here. What is our aim? We have to convert the chemical energy into electrical energy means. But here what happens here? The electrons which are produced from the zinc are taken by the copper solution, and it is converting into copper solid. So we we can say that it is a failed experiment. So it is called as direct method. Why? Because here electrode is in direct direct combination with the copper sulfate solution, so that's why it is called as direct method. In this direct method, what happened? Our aim, what is our aim? We have to convert chemical energy into electrical energy. That is not fulfilling here, so we can say it is a failed experiment. Okay, so see here definition. What is electrochemistry? It is the study of production of electricity from chemical energy. Okay, from chemical energy which is released from where we are getting the chemical energy means which is released from the spontaneous chemical reaction. From the spontaneous chemical reaction we are getting the chemical energy. That chemical energy is converting, we have to convert it into electricity. That is called as electrochemistry. Okay, so non-spontaneous reaction. So generally now for the production of electricity from the chemical energy we are having two types of cells. So what are the two types of cells means here? But first one is a galvanic or voltaic cell, another one is the electrolytic cell. These cells are called as electrochemical cells. Electrochemical cells means with the help of these cells, cell is nothing but beaker ma. In electrochemistry that beaker, that particular beakers are, we are calling it as cell. So what are electrochemical cells means? In electrochemical cells electrical energy is converting into chemical energy, or with the help of electricity we are performing the chemical reactions. So that is about the electrochemical cells. Electrochemical cells are two types, that is galvanic cell or voltaic cell and electrolytic cell. See, galvanic cells means these are the spontaneous reaction. In galvanic cells reactions are spontaneous, and with the help of these spontaneous reaction we are producing the electrical energy. On the other hand, what are electrolytic means? Here these are the non-spontaneous reaction. What I said in the last topic, non-spontaneous reaction means to perform the non-spontaneous reaction we have to give the electrical energy or mechanical energy. So here it requires electrical energy to occur. That means to conduct non-spontaneous reaction we have to supply electrical energy. So these are called as reversible cells. The galvanic reaction can occur spontaneously, then be reversed electrolytically. Next, not all reactions are reversible. Okay, sometimes we are writing arrow mark only in one direction, sometimes we are writing the arrow mark like this. So what is this indicates means both forward reaction and backward reaction. That means reactants are converting into product is converting into again backward reaction. So forward reaction, backward reactions are called as reversible reaction. So not all the reactions are reversible. Okay, so let's see the voltaic cell. To understand the working principle of voltaic cell we have to understand the Daniell cell. Okay, let's see the Daniell cell construction. Sorry. So voltaic cell, it is a scientist named Volta. So he invented the voltaic cell in 1800. What are voltaic cells means? What are voltaic cells means? So these are also one of the electrochemical cell used to convert chemical energy into electrical energy. So here we are using the chemical energy from the chemicals, so we are converting into electrical energy. So now in the first topic we are discussed about the batteries, no? Those batteries, and next to flashlights, and next to calculators, all are working under the principle of this voltaic cell only. Sorry. So this is our Daniell cell. So the Daniell cell is the example for voltaic cell. So with the help of Daniell cell we will easily understand the voltaic cell. So this is the construction of the voltaic cell or the Daniell cell. See here, this is, we are taking two different beakers. So in the last experiment, that is experiment 1, what happened? We are taking only one beaker. In that beaker also we are taking copper sulfate solution. In that copper sulfate solution we are dipping the zinc rod. But here we are taking two different beakers. So it is first one, it is second one. So two different beakers. In for example left side beaker we are taking the zinc sulfate solution. In that we are dipping the zinc rod. Okay, in the right side solution we are taking the copper sulfate. In the right side beaker we are taking the copper sulfate solution. In that copper sulfate solution we are dipping the copper rod. Okay, so next, these two rods are connected through a conduction wire which is mediated through a bulb. Why the bulb? What is the use of bulb means? If electricity produces, the bulb will blow out. Okay, so what we are taking here, we are taking two different beakers. In a left beaker we are taking the zinc sulfate solution, in that we are adding the zinc rod. In right beaker, what we are taking here, in right beaker we are taking the copper sulfate solution, in that we are adding the copper rod. That means same metal should be dipped in the same salt solution. In last experiment what we have done, we are taking copper sulfate solution, in that we are dipping the zinc rod, but here we are replacing the copper sulfate with the zinc sulfate. In zinc sulfate solution we are dipping zinc rod, in copper sulfate solution we are dipping the copper rod. Okay, understand? Next, so we are saying that it is a spontaneous reaction. We don't know, no need to do anything. We are putting zinc and zinc rod in zinc sulfate solution. Immediately what happens, the zinc rod, so see here, the zinc rod is dissociated, this zinc is dissociated into Zn+2 ions and releases 2 electrons. So these ions displaces into the solution and it releases 2 electrons. Okay, these 2 electrons, that means rod not only single ion normal, it releases number of zinc, for example number of zinc ions into the solution and releases number of electrons onto the electrode. That means here on electrode what happened here, negative charge will takes place. On electrode what happened, all the negative charge will takes place. That means here electrode is getting the negative charge. That's why it is called as negative electrode. It is called as negative electrode, and this negative electrode is called as here anode. What we are calling it as anode. Okay, now these electrons will travel through the, see this arrow mark is showing here, these electrons will travel through the wire and reaches the copper electrode. In the right side what we have here, in the right side we have copper electrode, no, so these electrons will reach the copper electrode. In the copper what happened, we have in copper sulfate solution, no, the copper sulfate is dissociated into Cu+2 ion. +2 means it always requires negative charge to become neutralized. See, one thing memorize, that any element, either metal or non-metal, it wants to neutralize always. That means it don't want to have positive charge, negative charge on it. Okay, it wants to neutralize always. So whenever positive charge is there, it requires negative charge to neutralize. That is positive, negative will become neutralized. That is 0. It will become 0. So when positive charge is there, it wants electrons. If negative charge is there, it wants to become positive charge. Okay, now here we have in solution we have copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is dissociated into Cu+2 ion. So what happened, these +2 ions will take electrons from the wire and it is converting into copper. Understand? Once I am repeating, we are taking two beakers. In left side we are taking the zinc sulfate solution, in that we are dipping the zinc rod. In right side we are taking the copper sulfate solution, in that we are dipping the copper rod. Immediately when we dipping the zinc rod, these two are connected through a wire with the help of a bulb, or we can replace the bulb with the voltmeter. Why? Because to recognize or to identify current is producing or not. Okay, after immediately dipping the zinc rod, the zinc is dissociated into Zn+2 and it releases into solution, and 2 ions are releasing here. These 2 ions are traveling through the wire and it reaches the copper sulfate solution. Here copper is in +2 form. This copper taken the electrons and it is converting into copper. Okay, so now here copper is placing here on the electrode, we have copper, that is plus charge. On the electrode we are having now plus charge. So what we have done here, with the help of chemicals we are producing the battery. See here, it is negative terminal. See here, we are producing the battery. It is, we are making it into negative terminal, we are making it into positive terminal. So negative, positive is nothing but it is a battery. That means with the help of a chemicals we are producing a battery. So in our school days we are writing two terminals, no, one is small one and the one is large one. Small one is known as negative one and a large one is called as positive one. So we are producing the terminal. So electrons travel from negative terminal to positive terminal. This positive terminal is called as cathode. Okay, next here negative terminal is called as anode. Next, what happened here? This anode, here zinc is losing electron. That means oxidation, zinc is undergoing oxidation. That's why it is called as oxidation half cell. Why we are calling it as half cell means, so we are having two beakers. So when we are connecting these two, only it is complete cell. With when we are talking about only zinc, it is half cell. When we are talking about copper, it is half cell. So we can divide a total cell into two halves, that is oxidation half cell and reduction half cell. Why it is oxidation means here zinc losing electron, that's why it is called as oxidation half cell. Here copper is gaining electron, that's why it is called as reduction half cell. Okay, so here electrons are flowing from this side to this side. What happened? Current flows from the opposite to the electrons. Okay, if electrons are traveling from to negative terminal to positive terminal, current flows from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. So our aim is completed. No, what is our aim? We have to convert chemical energy into electrical energy. Yes, we have done it. We have taken chemicals. With the help of chemical energy, we are producing a current. Here how you can know the current is producing means with the help of this bulb. This bulb will blow when electric current is producing. So this is our with the help of galvanic cell we are producing the electricity. So see here left half cell. In left half cell we have zinc sulfate solution. In left half cell we have zinc sulfate solution. In this we are dipping the zinc metal. It is called as anode. Here oxidation takes place. Okay, next comes to the right half cell. Right half cell means our copper one. In this we are taking the copper sulfate solution. We are dipping the copper metal strip. Here what happened? It is called as cathode and it is positive terminal. It is called as positive half cell also. Here reduction will takes place. Okay, so let's see the reactions ma. So here in cathode what happens? Our copper, here zinc, first we'll see the oxidation reaction. In oxidation zinc is donating 2 electrons. The 2 electrons are traveling through the conducting wire and it is reaches the copper. Here copper will take electrons, it is converting into copper. It is called as cathode half cell or reduction half cell. It is called as anode half cell. This is the overall reaction ma. These two electrons will cancel. Finally we are getting Zn plus copper 2 plus gives rise to Zn plus 2 and copper. This is the overall cell reaction. Okay, so light will blow. That means chemical energy is converting into electrical energy. But after few seconds only the process will stop. Why? Because let's see, I'll tell you why. Because so again comes to the diagram. So what happened here? Here zinc is donating Zn plus 2 and it is releases 2 electrons. So these 2 electrons are traveling. Okay, up to here okay. These 2 electrons are taken by the copper. That means electron flow taking place. Opposite to the electron flow, that is electricity also generating. Okay, but after some time what happened? So the number of Zn plus 2 ions in the solution increases. Why? Because keep on zinc is donating electron. So the number of Zn plus 2 ions increases. Okay. So when I am, for example, I am need of money. When my friend is having plenty of money, what did I do? I'll ask my friend to give money to me. Rather than giving another friend, I want money, so I'll take money from my friend. In the same way here, zinc plus 2 means it is short of electrons, it want electron. So Zn plus 2 do not allow electrons to go outside. Why? Because these electrons are taken by the zinc only. Understand? Zinc is need of electron. So zinc, the number of Zn plus 2 keep on increasing. So after some time, the zinc, what it do? It will take electrons from the zinc rod. It won't allow electrons to go outside. If there is no electron flow outside through the circuit, there is no conduction of electricity. So after some time, what happened? The production of electricity will stop. Understand? So zinc is not allowing electrons to go outside, rather than it is taking electrons. Why? Because plus 2 means it is unstable. It wants to be stable by taking these electrons from the electrode. In the same way here in the solution what we have here? We have sulfate solutions, no, SO4 minus 2. So minus 2 also, it won't allow copper ions to go outside to take electron. When copper ion will take electrons only, electricity will generate. But the sulfate ions, what is doing? These taking the copper. Why? Because minus 2 plus 2 will become neutral. So sulfate ions also taking copper ions from the solution. So to overcome this problem, we are placing a salt bridge. Let's coming to the salt bridge. We are to overcome this problem, to continue the flow of electricity, we are placing the salt bridge in between the two beakers. In between two beakers we are placing a salt bridge. It's a salt bridge is a U-tube shaped tube, not our U-tube we are using, it is a U-tube shape. So in this salt bridge, so what is mean by bridge ma? Bridge means it is connected to roots. Okay, two different roots connected by the salt bridge. So in this salt bridge we are taking a agar-agar solution. What is agar-agar solution? Means it is solidifying solution. That means it will be like jelly like substance. So in that we are taking the inert electrolytes. What are inert electrolytes? Means like KCl or NaNO3, potassium chloride or sodium nitrate or a silver nitrate. These are the solutions we are taking in a salt bridge. So what is the use of salt bridge means? Let's see, I'll tell you. So what is the use of salt bridge means? So in the zinc, what happened here? Zn+2 ions increasing, here sulfate ions increasing. So we want to neutralize these two, otherwise they are not allowing the electrons. Okay, so in this salt bridge we are taking KCl. No, this KCl is converting into K plus and Cl minus. So plus 2 wants minus to neutralize. So the salt bridge, what it do? It will give the chloride ions to the zinc. Then zinc and chloride will comes to form ZnCl2. Okay, now zinc is neutralizing, so it won't take electrons from the zinc rod. So electrons can easily travel. Okay, in the same way here sulfate ions are there. So sulfate ions are there. No, so to these sulfate ions, this potassium ions will come and attack this potassium ions will attack the sulfate. So what happened now? KSO4, that is potassium sulfate will form. Now these sulfate cannot grab the coppers from the solution, and these zinc cannot extract the electrons from the solution. Now electrons easily flow from the negative electrode to the positive electrode. So that is the use of salt bridge. That is, salt bridge is used to continue the flow of electricity. Okay, so this is the salt bridge. Okay ma. So in this slide you can see here, this pink color one is a electron. These pink colors are electrons. Electrons are flowing from negative terminal to the positive terminal. Next see here, so these are the electron flow. Opposite to the electron flow our current will flow. Okay. So next, representation of cell. Okay madam, this is the galvanic cell. So every time no need to draw the galvanic cell. If you want to do representation, that is Daniell cell representation, you can represent in this way. That means we have two beakers. In between two beakers we have salt bridge. No, so we have to represent this total setup in only one line. So how we will see here. See here. It is a anode half cell, that is it is a zinc half cell, and the right hand side we have a cathode half cell. No, so how we will write means, first of all we have to write the anode half cell, that is zinc is converting into Zn+2, that is anode half cell. Okay, next we have to write the cathode half cell. What is cathode half cell? So copper is converting into, by taking 2 electrons it is converting into copper. Okay, we have to left side it is anode half cell, right side it is cathode half cell. So in between these two we have a two vertical lines. So what are the two vertical lines? Means salt bridge. So A means anode, C means cathode. In between these two lines are there. No, that is salt bridge. So we can write in this way. So next if we want to memorize the half cells, how we will memorize bits? If you memorize lone, what is lone ma? For example, lone means left side. Left side, what happened here? Oxidation takes place. No, so O for oxidation, A for what? Anode. That means left side we always have anode. At anode only oxidation takes place. Here anode is having negative charge. That means left side we have left half cell. It is also called as oxidation half cell, or it is also called as anode half cell. At anode it is charge is negative. Automatically what happened? Right side, what happened here? Right side, right half cell. Next at right side the reduction takes place, so reduction half cell, it is having a positive charge, that is positive half cell, and it is the cathode half cell. In this way we can memorize. Okay, next if you want to If you want to calculate the EMF, what is EMF? Electromotive force means the potential difference between two electrodes. Now we are generating the two electrode, that is cathode electrode and anode electrode. So anode and cathode, in between these two, at anode negative terminal will be present, at a cathode positive terminal will be present. So we are generating two potential differences. So the potential difference is called as cell potential. So potential difference between the cathode and anode is called the cell potential. So cell potential is nothing but electromotive force. If you want to find out the EMF, so what is the formula? E cathode minus E anode. E is nothing but cell potential of cathode minus cell potential of anode. We can also write ER minus EL. ER is nothing but E right. So E right is cathode, E left is anode. Or we can also write E reduction minus E oxidation. E reduction means at the right side what happened, reduction takes place, no, that's why E reduction. Next at anode what happened, oxidation takes place, that's why it is E oxidation. In this way we can find out the E cathode or E anode. Okay. So next we'll see the electrode potential. We are talking that electrode potential. What is actual electrode potential? Means when we are taking a beaker, in that beaker we have to take a solution that is called as electrolyte. In that electrolyte, when we are dipping the metal, for example here we are dipping the zinc, here we are dipping the zinc rod, in this we are taking zinc solution. Okay, in this we are taking the zinc solution. What happened here? The potential difference takes place between electrolyte, this is electrolyte, and this is the electrode. The potential difference is called as electrode potential. We know that zinc always undergoing oxidation. That means zinc is undergoing oxidation, means it loses 2 electrons. Okay, it loses 2 electrons. That means on the anode, on the electrode what happened? On the electrode what happened, electrons are there, that is negative charge is there. Zn plus 2 is coming to the solution. Okay, so on the electrode we have negative charge, around the electrode we have positive charge. Okay, on the electrode negative charge. Why? Because zinc is losing electron, so electrons are having negative charge. In the solution we have Zn plus 2. So there is a potential difference, no, it is positive charge, it is negative charge. So between the positive and negative there will become a potential difference, that is called as electrode potential. If you are taking the positive electrode, see here in this diagram you will see the, so in the solution you are having the positive charge, on the electrode you are having the negative charge. So there is a difference in there, so that difference is called as the potential difference. Okay, if you take the zinc, it is undergoing oxidation, so that is called as oxidation potential difference, that is oxidation electrode. If you take the reduction, for example if you take the copper is undergoing reduction, so it is called as reduction potential. So oxidation potential and reduction potential, it is negatively charged, on the negatively charged we are having positive charge. So this is about the electrode potential. See, positive charge ki negative charge difference is there, so that is called as electrode potential. So potential difference is nothing but electrode potential. If you take the zinc, it is called as electrode potential of zinc. If you take the copper, electrode potential of copper. Let's we discuss about the SHE, standard hydrogen electrode. Standard hydrogen electrode, we are also called as She. In exam generally they give She. She is nothing but standard hydrogen electrode. Or we can also call as NHE, normal hydrogen electrode. Both are same, SHE and NHE. So let's see what is the arrangement or what is the setup of standard hydrogen potential, standard hydrogen electrode. So in this we have to take a beaker. So in this beaker we are putting a one platinum rod. So with the help of platinum rod we are this platinum is acting as an electrode here. This platinum is acting as a electrode here. Next at the end of the platinum we have a platinum black, that is platinum coated black, it is called as platinum rod. Next with the help of inlet, it is called as inlet. Why it is inlet? Means we are telling that it is a hydrogen electrode. So hydrogen is a gas itself cannot act as an electrode, that's why here platinum is acting as a supportive electrode for the hydrogen. Okay, so these bubbles are what ma? These bubbles are hydrogen gas. With the help of inlet we are introducing the hydrogen gas into the electrode. Now platinum with the help of hydrogen is acting as a hydrogen electrode. So generally what is the I forgot to tell that the Daniell cell EMF is 1.1 electron volts. Daniell cell potential value is 1.1 electron volts. Okay, it is experimental value ma. It is already proven that 1.1 electron volt is the value of Daniell cell. So what is the hydrogen electrode value is 0 volts. 0 electron volts. So then what is the use of this hydrogen electrode means? For example, see, if we want to find out the electrode potential of any electrode with the help of one value, we cannot find out. For example, see, in maths, from our childhood, in maths, for example, in the first one, if you see this here, x plus y is equal to 0 is there. So in this, if you know the, if x is given, the value is 3, by giving the x value, if you want to find out the value y, we can substitute the x value in 3, and we can easily find out the y value, that is minus 3. See here on the right side, x plus y is equal to 0, find y. They are not mentioning the value of x. So here, with the help of one electrode, that means with the help of one value, x value, we can find the y value, or with the help of y, if you know the value of y, we can find the value of x. So okay, in this example they have given the value of x, so we can find out the value of y. But in this example, what happened, they didn't mention any value. They calculate us to find the y value. This is no impossible. So we cannot get the certain value here, we cannot get the certain value. In the same way here, for example, x is there, we have to x value is 0. For example, say it is 0 value, we can find the y value, no? That is the use of SHE, standard hydrogen electrode value is 0. With the help of standard hydrogen electrode, we can find out the value of, that is electrode potential of unknown electrode. That is the use of, that is the main use of SHE. What is the use, ma? With the help of SHE, we know the value of SHE is 0. With the help of value, that value, we can find the value of unknown electrode, that may be zinc, that may be copper. So in that way, so for example, see here, so in these two particular electrodes, so it is the hydrogen value, we know the hydrogen electrode 0. With the help of this value, we can find the unknown value electrode. By connecting these two, here we will find out the value of unknown electrode. So this is about the electrochemistry. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Now I am presenting some slides about the diagram of Daniell cell in different manner. So in these you can see the different types of electrochemical cells are we called Daniell cells. So I forgot to add this slide, that's why I'm preparing this. So this is called as electrochemical series. So in this chemical series, we can see the different types of electrodes arranging based on their reduction potential. So if you see this, so in this we are placing the from iron to the aluminum electrodes with regards to the hydrogen. You can see that hydrogen is in the middle, so the electrodes which are presenting above the hydrogen are acting as a oxidizing agents, and next below the hydrogen are acting as a reducing agents. So this series is called as electrochemical series, and these values are experimentally calculated values which are displacing here. So these are all proved values. So in this hydrogen is having 0, no? In the SHE we are discussing the same thing now. So hydrogen is having the electrode potential value, that is EMF value is 0, and next above the hydrogen we are having the positive values. So those are all strong oxidizing agents, and below the hydrogen those are all negative values, and these are all strong reducing agents. Okay, above the hydrogen are oxidizing agents, and below the hydrogen are reducing agents. So thank you one and all for giving this opportunity.